welcome to another episode of New to Me. I'm Stephen Michael Zach, and today we are taking a look at the Angler LCSB 1212. This is the 12x12 diffusion for the Lexley Timpani that I just bought, and we're also looking at the LCSB grid, which you do have to purchase separately. So let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, so inside the box here, you get some instructions on how to attach this. We're going to ignore that. And let's take a look at, first off, the case here. Case isn't bad. It feels like your run-of-the-mill case, maybe a little bit cheap. One thing I do like about this case is that it is a little bit oversized. And, not the greatest case in the world. And you pop it open, and we'll put the case to the side here, and just pops out just like that, which is very nice, and it is in this plastic, which I will probably ditch. Now, the first thing I note about this is really very well made. Now, I do have the diffuse ones, and I find those are really cheap. This is fantastic quality. I mean, just the edge here just feels like fantastic quality. It's just really nice, almost like has a canvas feel to it. But very easy to pop out the magnets like so. Just put the magnets together. And I do like the fact that these actually dig into the ends where the diffuse kind of hangs off the top, and it's kind of a pain in the butt. And that's it, you're good to go. Now, one thing I do like about this, and a thing I like about it and don't like about this right off the bat, is that this is where the grid goes. And when you put the grid in, it has a tendency to kind of push inward. So you're not getting the full extent of the softbox. Now, hopefully that will change with the, hopefully that'll change the more I use it. The edges here will loosen up. But all in all, this is really nice material. The diffusion's very, very nice. Good diffusion quality. Remove the tissue paper. And then you get these very nice Velcro straps on the back here. And you get a lot of maneuverability here. So let's go ahead and let's follow the directions, and let's just open this up like so. Let's try to keep these on the outside. It's a little bit difficult to fold everything out. And let's go ahead and grab the light. Okay, so here we are with the timpani. I'm going to try to show you this the best I can with this setup. Now, one thing I would suggest is mounting it straight down, so that you have a good mounting access point. You will need to sandbag your stand, but it's just better if you mount it this way. And let's go ahead and move the table itself out of the way. And it is better that if you mount it this way, that way you're going to be able to, you'll be able to just get the softbox on and angle it a little bit better. But let's go ahead and flip this around. And I will go ahead and attach the softbox by grabbing the top piece here. And I'm going to lay it right over here, like so. I'm going to pull up the bottom. And I'm going to basically feed this through here as well, like so. And let's go ahead and strap this on just to hold it. It holds really well. Want to make sure it's even too. Make sure this is on evenly. So first thing I do is I make sure that the ends are even, and I want to strap this back just sort of kind of to hold it in place for a second. And we want to make sure the bottom is there as well. Where's the other strap? So there we go. It's looking pretty good. You want to make sure this goes on straight and proper. And we're going to pull out the sides here. Now this will take a bit of doing every time you do this, so if you're a run and gun shooter, just allow for the time that this is actually going to physically take. But you want to just Velcro the top here and here. And I'm going to spin this around. You're basically just doing the same thing on this side, is taking the little tabs and Velcroing them so they're nice and tight, and making sure that this thing is fitting around the frame. There we go. Make sure that's staying magnetized. And there we go. That's it. You are on and done. Now, one thing I will say for this is this does actually block the controls, because this is not, I guess, specifically made for the actual timpani, but it does work with the timpani. I think it's made with one of their light panels in mind, or some other light panel in mind. Now, be careful. These do have a tendency to collapse. They collapse very easily. Not the greatest magnets I've seen, but pretty solid. And there we go. Now, as you can see, this is made of really nice material, and these do have a tendency to kind of pop. So there we go. Yeah, these you can just kind of sort of tap them and they come apart. So just be aware of that. They're not as tight as the diffuse ones. But there you go. You are ready to start shooting. Now, let's go ahead and open up the grid and throw the grid on, and we'll take a look. Okay, now the first thing I will say about the grid is it does come with a nice case, which a lot of grids don't. It's a very cheap nylon case. Could easily probably rip if you snag it on something, but you do get a case with a drawstring, and that is super cool. I will most likely never use this, as I will probably leave this attached. Okay, so here we have the grid here, and you just kind of go around the top, attaching the grid. And I am surprised at how easily this attaches. Attaches quite nicely. One thing I will say is this grid is very tight. It almost seems like it won't fit, but it does. Let's go ahead and cinch that down. And there you go, your grid is on. I put my grid on a little bit crooked, so just make sure that the grid holes are going vertically and horizontally. I put this on a little crooked, which is very easy to do. So there you go, the grid is on, it's looking really good. One thing I will say for this softbox is, if you notice back here, and I'll try to bring this closer so you can see, is that it does block some of the ports on this, which is just kind of unfortunate. Kind of a bit of a pain in the neck. And the Velcro, these little Velcro tabs sort of kind of stay, but not really. Now you can move these over a bit. You can adjust the straps, so that's not a big problem. But one thing I did notice is these little tabs do not really stay unless you press them really hard together. And again, the controls are a little bit blocked by this, but all in all, pretty solid. Let's stick a battery and check it out. Okay, and as you can see, this is, let's go ahead and slide this out a bit. As you can see, this is working really well. It diffuses the light quite nicely. I am a bit overblown because I am so close, but the grid is working very nicely, and then the grid can just easily be torn out. Now, one thing I will say before I tear out the grid is, let me go ahead and put this back so I can show you. As I said before, if you notice, the edges are kind of caved in a little bit, which is cutting some of your light. Now, hopefully with time, that will kind of give way, and this will kind of open up more. But I'm not sure if it will. But it does work. It does do the job. If you need a nice soft key light for your subject and you are just using the panel, this works really nicely. This is really nice. I really like this. It feels well built. It doesn't feel like it's going to tear. As you see, I just tore that right off. And there you go, there's your nice diffused light. So all in all, super cool. Now, taking this thing apart is a cinch. You just have to grab the edges, and you can just kind of push it in like that. And you can actually slide this in a case or throw it in the back of your truck or your car or whatever you're driving. But let's go ahead and just quickly take it apart. It slides right off. throw everything on the inside. And let's go ahead and just twist this up like so. Very simple, and it doesn't have to be exact. Because one thing I really love about this bag is that it's a little bit oversized. So even if you don't get this folded up quite properly, there's still plenty of room for this to fit inside. Let's tuck the straps inside, like so. And just start zippering it up. There you go, all ready to go. Throw this in your tote bag and ready to go. Now let's go back to the main table for my final thoughts. All in all, super cool. Really love this Angler softbox. It is pretty good. If you have a 12 by 12 panel, I would highly suggest the Angler brand over, I believe it's Came TV, is it? Or it's the Diffuse. I'm not sure which brand that is. I forget now offhand. But all in all, this is a really solid made softbox. The quality is excellent. Everything feels rock solid and professional. And it's well worth the money. I think I got 2 of these for $75. I think this was $28, and I think I spent like 10 or 15. I'll put the prices down below because I haven't checked them. But yeah, all in all, a pretty rock solid softbox for your 1x1 panel. So those are my thoughts, but I want to know yours. So leave your questions and comments in the notes below. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to mash that bell button to be notified when we drop a brand new video. I'm Stephen Michael Zach, and this is new to me.